Hello, and welcome to Casting Roles, a persistent D&D campaign played by a bunch of theater nerds. Thank you for joining us for the fourth and final episode of the Lost Adventures of Marlow. Our dear Grace is currently in a production of Let the Right One In, which opens... Well, I mean, when this video airs, it will have already opened, but it does open, like, next week, or this week. This week?
I mean, well, I guess Saturday is not this upcoming week.
This upcoming week. Oh, right, because this isn't Sunday. Yeah. This upcoming week, so it's like super excited. But we wanted to trace Marlow's journey away from the ticket takers through a short little arc, and it has been an absolute blast. So if you'd like to see more, you can follow us on Twitter at Casting Roles and on Facebook at Casting Roles ILM. And we stream here on Twitch on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and our videos are uploaded on Friday on YouTube the same week. But with no other announcements, let's go ahead and start the show. So, Marlow. After traveling to the capital of Alyria to deliver your mother figure Amalia to a safe location, you ran into your sister-ish, Eris Galat, who, with a revenge plot, wanted to steal a wealthy or an important item from the Lord of Antiquities, Tarlo Whistleton. Breaking into his manor estate, you retrieved the item as well as the sword that was housing it, and then escaped away to a tavern where the next morning you awoke to find Eris had left in the night. You then sought out Princess Alyria at the Temple of Adronis for the trials of the Andronic Key. You met the entire Curia Regis and sussed out...
What a bunch of insane motherfuckers.
Yeah. You met some cool ones. You met some assholes. You met a few that gave you some bad vibes, including the Crown Regent, who you tested.
And then one really hot one.
Who is the hot one? Oh, Lenaria this week.
Come on, Lenaria's the hot one. What are you talking about?
She is just... She's aged like fine wine. Yes.
No one else in this group is hot. Uriel's not hot. Maybe Thornton, if you're into it.
I mean, yeah, Thornton's like... He's like a...
Maybe Unali.
I think Thornton's like a himbo.
Yeah. Yeah. Not Marsteel. Maybe Unali is hot. I don't know. Tarlo, absolutely not. Yusef, absolutely not. Darkon, nope.
Yeah, well...
And that's the most important part of it.
That's, of course. I'm the curious
how
hot are they? That's actually how they choose the members, but it's a very weird selection
that makes no
process.
sense because Yusef should not be the head at all in that case and actually should be demoted off the team.
100%. You then decided to register to fight in the Trials of the Andronic Key, and with Ogwan and a in disguise Princess Alyria formed the group the Fleet Foxes and took on the reigning champions for greater glory. A tough battle raged where several people fell. Mar got really close to falling.
I still have 1 hit point.
Threw in
no one healed me.
Oh no! Make sure Laura takes care of that. Yusef threw in a curveball at the end with a manticore, but you were able to tackle the challenge and won a nice pot of gold, and then were invited to a dinner at the palace that evening. So after the battles and conflicts and everything over, you're in the box, and Alyria she kind of notices that you're still down, and she's going to reach over and heal you. So you want... Oh, that's not bad. 20 points.
Oh my god, that's not bad at all, Alyria.
She had 1 3rd level slot left, so she cast Cure Wounds at 3rd level, so there you go. And she goes, well, I think the medic was supposed to take care of you, but Lenaria flew us up here so quickly that, but hopefully that'll...
No, it's fine. I mean, I'm used... This is just another day of work for me.
Oh, wow, quite exciting. But I suppose I have to head off to the palace to get ready. I don't know if you want to come wander around.
Do I have to get ready?
Oh, well, I mean, I think as a champion, they kind of expect some rough and tumble, but...
Okay. Do I have to change?
Oh, she kind of looks your outfit up and down. No, I think you look fine.
Insight check.
Yeah, go ahead.
14.
Let me see where she's at.
Yeah, where's her deception on this
not.
one?
She's not a very deceptive person. You can tell it's like she likes the way you look, but she's also weighing it against the environment that you're going into.
Regis is gonna,
Yeah.
look at me.
She says, well, it might be. I mean, do you have like? It's always nice to have like a nice.
No.
No. It's
No,
not
I don't
nice?
have any
Okay.
nice clothing. I mean, this is as good as it gets for me.
Oh.
I think.
Well, you just won some coin. You could buy a very nice a jacket replacement.
Okay.
That might be worth. I don't know. I honestly, it might be worth just showing up as you are and letting them all like turn up their noses and.
No, I need to. I think. I don't know. I mean, I think I kind of. Who's listening? How many people are here right now?
So
a lot of people.
for the most part, they've started to kind of stream out.
But there's still people.
Yeah, Thornton is taking care of Darkon, like trying to wake him up and get him out of the box.
God, this poor man.
Lenaria left. She went early.
Okay.
Tarlo and Uriel are walking away at this point. So close by. I mean, Yusef's might be within earshot. Oguan's around.
Yeah. No, I want to. I want to dress up.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let me. And she kind of takes out a piece of paper and she writes down. And she says, "I might recommend this tailor. He crafted much of my like adventurer's gear type stuff. But it looks nice enough." And it says the Gilded Weave.
Okay.
And the tailor's name is. Where did I write it down? Oh, Xenox Thorn. Xenox, like a Xenox.
Okay.
Thorn. With an E at the end of Thorn. He, quite quick work, but very nice.
Cool. I'm sure I'll be a great client, and he'll love working with me, as I will him.
Yes. I should probably. And Yusef starts kind of walking away, and he kind of looks at the princess's direction. He goes, "Are you coming?" She goes, "Yes, Yusef, I'll be right there."
Remind me, I need to catch you one-on-one later for that girls' talk.
Right.
We were gonna have.
Sure. I think the dinner is around 7. So if you arrive at the castle around 5:30 or so, then.
Do I just knock on the? Door?
Just show them my sigil, and they'll let you in. Also, you can just say that you were the champion, and you say Fleet Foxes. They should also let you in for that.
Great, wonderful, thank you.
Of course. And then as she's walking away, you see her like cast a spell, and you just hear her kind of whispering, "Xenox, there's a customer coming your way. Be gentle." And she walks away.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
Yep. All right. So you've got the address there. Xenox is in. He's in. What was the name of the location? He's in the Prisma Quarter.
The Prisma Quarter.
Yeah, which is like the upper, like it's kind of like the Madison Fifth Avenue style like zone of Anarvirds.
Okay. Yeah, I start heading there.
All right. So the walk is you could take if you want to take like the people mover, or you can walk. It's up to you.
I kind of just want to walk.
Okay. It's about.
I mean, if it's not gonna take too long.
No, and it's only probably 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, so I got time.
Yeah. Now you'll probably need to take the trolley to the Palisade, where the palace is, because that's on the far edge of town. But you're only probably 45 minutes or so away from the Prisma Quarter.
Okay.
So you are walking through, you leave the Iron Mount, the industrial district, and you head into the theater district, and so the bustling, colorful buildings and all of the people kind of wandering around, the more common individuals. And then as you're leaving the theater district, you start coming into streets where you can tell the cobblestones are much more cleanly kept. There's bright streamers of all colors on the hanging from lampposts and lanterns along the way. Everything is iron and gilded and beautiful in this space, and there's a lot more trees and natural things. And the buildings are a little bit more spaced out, and all of the shops here are much more elaborate. As you're walking through, you pass into a zone called the Mithral Bazaar. And it has a beautiful gilded sign over the top. And as you're walking through, there's just lines of gorgeous shops of all kinds lining this path. And then you kind of come around a corner, and that's the first time you notice that there is, at the center of the Prisma Quarter, a very tall structure. And looking at it, you kind of see a little bit of Hightower construction design in the way that this building is built. You're not exactly sure what it is, but it's almost like a skyscraper at the center of the Prisma Quarter. And there's just go ahead and make a perception check as you're looking at it.
No idea.
No idea.
Natural one.
Yeah,
Natural one.
So you're kind of distracted by looking around.
This is the biggest building Marge's ever seen in her life.
Yeah.
She's just how did they...
Yeah.
Is that safe?
Yeah, it's incredibly tall.
How did they build up there?
And it is ringed by, as you get closer, the main street kind of hits it, and then the street forms a circle that goes around it. And there's a wall that surrounds this very tall building. Once you get closer, you notice that the entrance is guarded, and they're wearing the guard uniform of the Hightower Guard.
Oh. Okay.
You keep walking on. Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, I was thinking about asking someone. And
that's fine. I
was like, I'd rather die, actually. So.
You keep walking around, and you're coming past a few other buildings. There's one building in particular that you come up to where it's the building itself is closed. They have a sign out front that it's closed, but there is a big sign on it that says "Business Coming Soon," and then the name of the business is called "Be Your Own Manager."
Yay!
And she's
done it.
And that's coming
She's
soon.
in the big city.
Oh no! You've forgotten who Be Your Own Manager is.
Be your own manager. Wait, am I wrong?
The sign out front says, soon, be your own manager, where all of your herbal supplements and healing potion needs.
It's her.
It is.
I'm proud of her.
Oh, Corinne. Okay,
So
I thought you were
proud of
talking
her.
about the Northwick Buns lady.
No, I'm proud of Corinne.
Yes.
Me, Grace,
Yes.
is proud of my character.
Corinne, yeah.
She's done it. She's living her big dream.
Yeah, and it says opening date is in 1 week, so the next time you go in Anarvir, it may be open. So
amazing.
Yeah. But you keep walking through, and you eventually come to the address that is listed on the card that Laura gave you for the Gilded Weave. It's a beautiful 2-story wooden building with kind of a slate rock roof. There's a gorgeous purple and golden tapestries at the front that are kind of tying off at the front, and the window itself in the front door is painted with kind of what looks like maybe goldish paint, and it says Gilded Weave on it. You enter in, and you find yourself in the entrance area is just bolts of cloth, different kinds of threads. It's kind of like a Joann's fabric, but upscale.
Yeah.
And you hear a voice from the back that says, "Just a moment, I'll be with you very shortly." And then a moment passes, and then a very tall, kind of grayish blue skinned figure with a shock of white hair approaches, very slender and svelte, wearing a beautifully tailored coat that's like has like one of those tight waists that then flares out a little bit, and some like very tight pants going into some boots, and they approach. Oh my. What could I do for you today?
Oh my god, he said, "Oh my," at me. Oh my god. The princess sent me.
Oh, you are the friend. Yes, of course. Well, we have a royal dinner to prepare you for. Is that correct?
Right.
Well, I'm Xenox. Please step this way. And they reach out and grab your hand and lead you to the back. And you find yourself it might be a Mars' worst nightmare. You find yourself in a room. He steps you up on this like little central podium. And then he goes around the room and he pulls curtains aside. And suddenly you are surrounded by like 8 mirrors that show you from all different sides and angles.
Oh my god, Mars very upset.
Yes. And he says, so what exactly are we looking for a whole new look? Top to bottom?
I don't know.
I think we should start small, shall we?
Okay.
Can I, and they reach out to the corners of your jacket. Do you mind?
Sure.
Okay. They help you remove your jacket for a moment, and he carefully folds it and sets it to the side. And then he looks at it for a moment, and then he goes, he picks up a little bell and rings it for a moment, and then this small lady approaches, and he says, can you take that to be cleaned really quickly? Thank you, please.
It's covered in blood. There's so much blood on it. Yeah. Mar doesn't know. Like, Mar usually, I think, would just get, like, people to prestidigitate away the blood on it, and she hasn't had that.
She hasn't had a chance, yeah. So the lady goes off and with your jacket to wash it, and they go, okay, well, what I'm thinking, and you can, of course, please throw in your own opinions. How about a very nautically lined trench?
Okay.
Like mid-calf-ish, a little tight here at the middle point, but broad at the shoulders. Are we feeling attached to the blue?
I don't really care that much.
Well, blue is such a beautiful color, and I think it accentuates the gorgeousness in your hair. Oh, you've got a little, and he kind of reaches up and there's something in your hair, and he sets it to the side. Accentuate, yes, I think blue. And they go over and open this cabinet, and then they pull out this rack, and you just see fabric of all different kinds and colors and styles. And they grab a beautiful navy-ish blue fabric, and they put it up on your shoulders and kind of wrap it around the space just to kind of gauge. How are we feeling about this? It's a little bit like the night sky, just a little bit of moonlight.
Yeah, it's nice.
Okay, and then so they start kind of putting it there and penning in certain points and places and forming it and shaping it, and he starts cutting it very deftly and shaping and putting in elements together. For accent, are you attached to any particular type of metal? Silver, gold, platinum?
I mean, it's not silver.
Not silver, okay. So platinum perhaps then?
Sure.
Okay, and they take some buttons and things and start loosely pinning them, and then takes another cord of fabric and starts kind of pinning it around the hemmed edges and things. And in the flurry, they're filling so much of your vision.
This whole time is just like letting this happen, but keeps like when he like loses like this arm, like just pulls her like scarf more
Yeah,
and more.
that makes
you know?
sense. Yeah, and they're being very gentle.
Sure,
Like
sure.
yeah, and conscious, but and they're kind of blocking your vision. But there's a moment when they step back and you see for the first time. Of course, it's not hemmed or sewed properly together yet, but you see for the first time like a jacket that fits Mar, like is Mar's shape. But gives strength to the shoulders, has a beautiful kind of tapered cut at the wrists, and then flares out a little bit at the base, and so and it's not tattered edges. It's the solid. Of course, just a framework. But how are we feeling about this kind of look?
Yeah, I like it. It's nice.
Good. Well, since you're feeling good about it, let me just... And they go over and pull the curtains to close the mirrors. And then please just relax. It'll probably be 20 minutes or so. And they take it off.
Can I get another scarf to match it?
Sure. Do you want to go with something in the red family like you have now?
It doesn't have to be.
Well, I think, and they kind of pull out this kind of like wine dark red silk. This might go well, and holds it up to the navy. You could also do this, and he pulls another that is kind of silvery, but it's got flecks of metal in it, so it sparkles just a little bit. We could go for this silver if you'd prefer. Oh, sorry, silver, no, and sets it aside. And then grabs another one that is looks like it might have like specks of like kind of gold, hinted gold in
it. The gold's kind of nice, I guess.
Of course, yes. And kind of measures out the length of the scarf for you, and yes, we'll put that together. Please, you can have a seat in the waiting room there. I'll have Rose bring you some cucumber water or something. And he rings the bell again, and Rose appears and has a tray. And there's looks like there's like some kind of like bubbly wine, but also just some cucumber water. Like you can kind of choose what you'd like to relax with.
Mara goes for the cucumber water to not be like, drinking before dinner.
Of course. And then Rose guides you to sit down where Xenox, you see for a moment like Xenox is clearly has some magical essence to him. There's a moment where they take the cloak and they just kind of hold it up and then release it, and it stays floating in the air there.
Cool.
And then they're kind of going through and like very quickly sewing and putting things together, but then using some kind of magical piece to seal the seams to hide them and things. And you can kind of see this from the little waiting space where you are. But about 20 minutes later, they come back out and they have a formed coat for you. Has platinum buttons down the side. The collar and the hems around the jacket have this very subtle brocade of platinum. Just a little bit of like a twisted, braided design. And then they hold up the kind of the golden scarf along with it. And they say, well, and I added, I hope you don't mind, a little bit of flash. And they open up the interior, and the interior framing is that burgundy silk color. So like when you kind of open up the jacket, there's this flash of that burgundy red.
Yeah, that's really nice.
Well, beautiful. Let's try it on then. And they hold it up for you to kind of put your arms into.
Yeah, I try it on.
And then they pull just one mirror open for you to kind of see yourself. And Mar's standing there fresh and clean.
Yeah, Mar just kind of looks very blankly at the mirror. I don't think she's ever, or at least not for a very long time, like had this kind of moment.
Mm-hmm. And then they kind of gently ask you if you'd like to put on the scarf yourself, or...
Yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah.
they handed off and said, of course, of course. So the princess put this on her charge account.
Oh my god, no, let me pay for it.
Oh, well,
Can I at least tip you? Can I do that?
Oh, sure, I suppose.
I give him, I mean, is 10 gold sound right? Mark has no idea how much this would cost. Mark has like no grasp of like what nice clothes would cost.
Yeah, no,
at all.
None at all.
So Mark gives 10 gold and then kind of like gauges if it looks correct.
Okay, make a insight check.
15.
It's correct in the sense that this is not the type of establishment where tips are normally given.
Okay, well, fine. I don't
so
care.
any amount, any amount over like that would be like, oh, totally unexpected.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You don't. Yeah, you have no sense of how much the outfit would have cost, but yeah. But Mar looks, and then there's a moment later where Rose brings out a package wrapped in kind of this very simple kind of muslin and with like a twine wrapped around it, and hands it off to you and says, "And your traveling jacket."
Thank you.
If you ever find yourself in the city in need of the tailoring services, please keep the gilded weave in mind.
I will do.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then you are free to go wherever you want.
Yeah, before I step out of the store, but like right as I'm about to step out of the store and my like back's to them, I will switch out the scarves.
Yeah,
and then put the other stuff in my bag.
Yeah, and it's a darker. It's like the silk is dark to the point where almost like blackish, but the gold just sparkles in the sunlight. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah, I leave.
All right, so you come out onto the street of the Prisma Quarter again. The tall, imposing. I mean, it's a beautifully constructed tower, but it's very tall and imposing. Is there at the center. You can make your way towards the palisade if you like, or
Can I grab someone on the street?
Sure. There's a few people walking around, all very finely dressed.
Excuse me, I'm a tourist. What is that? I pointed at the tower.
It's that older gentleman. That is the spire.
Okay.
This region of Anavir is overseen by the Council of Hightower, and that is their administrative seat.
Okay, bye. Thank you.
Sure, and goes off for his walk.
Huh. Okay. Weird. Hightower has their own fucking district here.
And it's the richest district in the city.
Okay. So this is okay. That's so what? Well, that sounds about right.
Make a history check.
Yeah, Mar knows nothing about this place. 11.
Yeah, so you know that the city of Anarvir is called it's the City of Nine Hills. And each region of Anarvir originally was overseen by one of the tribes.
Okay.
And so this region was probably seen over by Aeolisar's tribe, so the god of wind and air.
Right.
Which Hightower is like their major city. And so like each district has their own. Like Adronis's is the Iron Mount, like they're
Okay,
each,
so
yeah.
each
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Then I guess I get on the trolley
the
to
people
go,
mover. Okay.
to
Yeah.
go to the Tomorrowland people mover
Yeah.
to go to this dinner.
Yeah, and you notice like as you're kind of you go up, it's on a raised platform, almost like an aqueduct style design that runs around and through all the parts of the city. And as you're kind of riding around, you realize like it cuts the regions of the city. It's on the outskirts. So like where the one you're on right now is traveling between the Prisma Quarter and the theater district, and then it goes around the theater district and hits. You see a very militaristic zone, like a large keep. You can see a few like soldiers parading in that area as you're going by, and then it approaches. At the back end of the capital city, there's a very large hill, with a white, chalky bluff, and atop it you see the largest structure in the area, which you assume is the palace. And the people mover is moving in that direction. It stops at the foot of the hill, and there's an exit there. And this is separating that militaristic district from the royal district.
Okay.
And you get out, and there's a gated entrance to walk up into this hill, and there are several, like 5 or 6 Crowns Guard there, and there's 2 towers, which you see other Crowns Guard in the towers as well.
Okay, I walk up.
Yes, what's your business?
Hi, I was with the Fleet Foxes, the champions of the big fight earlier today. I am expected for dinner.
One moment, please. And he turns and goes back, and there's somebody with.
Also, Princess Allure knows me.
Right. He goes back to make to talk to his supervisor, and they look over something and they go, "Oh yes, the champion of the child of Andronic Key. Yes, you're free to pass through. Is the rest of your group not coming?"
The rest of my group was the princess and the diplomat, Oguan. What's the fuck is his last name? Abioye. So, I think they're already good.
Right. Sure, this way, man. Just opens the gate and lets you walk on through. And then, says she was traveling with the princess. The other guy, yeah, sure, okay. One too many hits to the head.
Oh my god, you're so mean.
And you keep walking through, and the moment you pass through the gate, it's a beautiful, broad thoroughfare, wide enough for a couple carts to travel down, lined with these gorgeous overhanging, oak trees, beautiful flowered, manicured lawns leading up the way, and this kind of twists and turns. It's about a 5 or 6 minute walk to the top of the hill. And then you arrive in front of the Royal Palace, which is an enormous structure. It's the second largest building in all of Alyria. Looks very much kind of it has elements of it that seem like a castle, elements of it that just seem like a typical mansion, but it all comes together to form this massive structure of opulence and beauty. And they've sent messages up announcing your arrival, and so the moment you arrive, 2 people open the front doors, and you find yourself in the gilded, golden tiled entrance hall of the Palace of Anarvir. And they close the door behind you, and you are alone.
Mar just stands here for a hot second because she's no idea what to do.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge, this entrance hall is probably the size of your airship, this massive structure, and you can just hear the distant sounds of people walking around on these marble golden floors, the echoey sound. There's beautiful candelabras and portraits hanging on the walls, and there's silk valises hanging over the windows, and golden curtains, and everything is just immaculate and beautiful. A moment later, an awkward moment later, you hear
Mar's not sure if she's waiting to be escorted or if she should go find someone. She's literally just when not quite T-posing, but when a character just stands in position and just doesn't move and is kind of like this. That's the equivalent of what Mar's doing right now.
A moment later, you hear the distant approaching sounds of somebody's heels on the floor, and this kind of tall, half-orcan fellow in a beautifully cut, perfectly trimmed black, almost like tux type look, approaches. "Oh, yes, you're Marlow with the Fleet Foxes. The princess is awaiting you this way, please." And...
Thanks.
Of course, just follow me. And he turns and clops off that direction and leads you through a confusing maze of winding passages, and then arrives at a door, and he says, Yes, and now for the princess's apartment, you are welcome, and he opens the door, and you can enter into the
Mars
space.
just shuffles in.
Yeah. You cross in the barrier, and the floor changes over to this lush carpeting. And this space, while large and very clearly rich and apportioned, is much simpler. The furniture is not as gilded or golden. Everything's much brighter in coloration. There's lots of yellows and light blues, and you can see the touch of the princess there. You hear in this beautiful, pristine place the sound of clanging metal coming from like another room off to the side.
I move that way.
You walk in and you see Princess Alyria in like a tank basically, and like her work pants covered in grit and grime, and she has turned one of the rooms of her apartment into a makeshift like craftsman's room, and she is hammering at something on an anvil.
Man, she is so like Breath of the Wild Princess Zelda, and I
Yes!
love her. Like that is exactly what she is.
100%.
Just with like forging metal instead of
like
science.
Subconsciously, I feel like that's exactly who I was channeling when I made her.
Totally like no, you need to be focusing on the magic and the ruling, and she's like, bro, that's not me.
Yeah. And like, so she's hammering away, and she kind of pulls it aside for the moment. She holds up this like gorgeous. It kind of looks like a belt buckle maybe. And she grabs like a leather strap next to it, and she's weaving it through. And there's a moment where you're standing watching, and she kind of says, she turns around, Marlow, I'm sorry, I look a mess. I
was covered in blood last time you saw me.
Well,
so.
you look fantastic. That coat is gorgeous.
Insight check. Mar doesn't trust it. Wow, an 11.
She seems impressed.
Okay. Yeah. Mar's unsure.
She says, wow, Xenox, they took care of you, didn't they?
Yeah, no, they did a really good job.
I hope he was gentle. He can be somewhat aggressive.
No, he was really nice.
Oh, good. I think this might finish the look for you. And she holds up this belt buckle, and it's rounded, platinum in coloration, and you can see that she has imprinted the image of a wolf on the belt buckle. And she says, I know you have an odd relationship with this element, but I thought that this would be a beautiful addition for your garment tonight.
Thank you.
And it's black leather, so I think aesthetically.
No, this is really nice. Thank you.
Thank you. It's one of my gifts as the cleric, that I can craft these types of elements quite quickly. So I should probably get ready though. Maybe I should go to dinner like this. We should trade places.
That would be fun.
But I do need to get ready. I'm sure they've already laid out my garment for me. And she opens a door, another door in this room, and it opens up into a large bedroom with a 4-poster bed and kind of gentle netting over it, and you see a dress laid out on the bed, and she's like, oh, I see Yusef has chosen yellow again for the evening.
Yusef picks your outfit?
Well, I think that his head maid comes to him and asks, and he says the yellow
That's so fucking weird.
It's very weird. It's
That's so invasive and gross. What?
Yeah.
Also, is this room private?
Oh,
do they listen in?
Well, I don't. She casts for a moment. She kind of looks around. I don't see any magical effects currently.
Okay. So I did a wild thing, and a priori with the chess pieces, right?
Right. Yes.
Well, I have one, and I pulled it out in front of Yusef, and he fucking reacted.
What kind of reaction was it?
He made a facial expression, Alyria. I mean, have you ever seen that before?
Have I ever seen his face move before?
Yes.
No.
Exactly. His face moved twice, and when I mentioned the king, it got him too. He knows something. I don't know if he's part of it, but it feels right? He's so fucking weird.
I mean, he's very greasy. That would make
very
sense.
slimy. So even if he's not part of it, he knows something, and this is a fucking secret evil organization. If he knows something, there's no way he's not involved.
Well, and Jane did say that someone in the Curie Regis had to be part of it.
Exactly. And clearly has a vendetta against Noavia.
But do you... I don't know. Would he really put my life in danger like that?
I don't know. Do you trust him? Maybe it wasn't about you. Maybe it was specifically about Oakwan.
It could have been. I don't remember anybody attacking me during the
fight. They gunned Oakwan. I mean, he almost died.
That's true. I don't... Yusuf has been part of my life for my whole life, but I've spent most of my time for the last 8 years in
my
Noavia.
God, it was an airship.
Yeah.
Oh my God, they were trying to frame the attack on Noavia.
It was
my God.
A Noavian airship.
What if they were setting up... What if, right? Because it was a stolen Noavian airship. What if they were trying to set it up that this was an attack on the royalty from Noavia to cause a war?
Well, that absolutely would cause a war. I mean, Yusuf does not do a good job of hiding his opinions.
Wouldn't he... I mean, no offense, I'm not trying to condemn all of it. He would profit from a war, surely, right? Not just monetarily, but...
The issue is the Zephrysite.
Right.
The Noavians have it. The Illyrians do not.
So if they start a war and invade and get back under Illyrian control...
Well, that's...
Then they get the Zephrysite.
I don't...
Sorry, did I just crack this open or something? I feel brilliant right now.
She's kind of like... You can tell that she's like really processing.
I've just said wild shit.
Because...
No.
Like... You get the sense that, like, as she's been away for so long that, like, in her... She said, like, the Yusuf that I know was, like, the disciplinarian of a young child. I've only been back in his presence for a day or two.
Then I don't know, he might have changed a lot when you were away. And, I mean, I don't even know, look, I'm not saying that everyone in a priori necessarily is in it because they want to be. Ahriman, I don't know how much control he has, and I'm not saying that, causing a war, poor him, what sympathy, if that's what he was trying to do, but maybe Ahriman put him up to it. I don't know. Maybe a lot has happened in since the last time we saw him.
I'm trying to think. I think we should maybe bring that to a member of the Curie Regis that we feel like we could trust.
The only chill one seems like Lunaria. I'm gonna be real.
Oh, yes, I absolutely trust her. She just is very intimidating. Are you not?
Really?
Are you not intimidated?
You seem cool.
Are you not intimidated? She's very...
I mean, obviously I'm intimidated. Like, she's a fucking hero of the subversion. She's hot as hell. I mean, I shouldn't say that. She's the master.
Is she? Yes. But...
No, don't worry. Whatever.
We could talk to her. We'd absolutely talk to her. We could go after the dinner.
She also talked to me. When all of us were talking, she got in my head and was like, hey, I know about you, and I know you're looking into some shit with the Violet Conclave. Please let me know if you run into anything sus. Well, I don't have shit on the Violet Conclave, not really. I probably should let her know about some stuff. So...
Well, that's interesting.
This included. Also, I should probably tell her about the Big Death Cult. That seems smart.
Yes, I would think that would be...
Right.
But surely, didn't you all... You went to Volmir about it. He should let her know. She's technically his boss, I suppose.
Hopefully. I didn't come up. Maybe she hasn't Huh, I'll have to double check on that.
Well, we can always go to her tower after the dinner. She stays up quite late.
Yeah, she invited me.
You were invited? Okay. I've never been
No,
to the
I don't
tower.
think it was like that. I mean, she was like, oh, I'll get you to Feldspar.
Right. Oh, she's...
Do you think it was like that?
Oh, no. I was more like, I've never been invited to her tower.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to be weird and like bring a +1 because she didn't like say that. But maybe one day, you're a student. You shouldn't go to her house. That'd be weird.
Yeah, I think I'd be more
When you
comfortable
graduate and
not-
you guys have like a working relationship,
Yes,
then I think that's
I'd
okay.
be much more comfortable not going. That's...
Wonderful.
yes,
Don't go.
But, yes, I mean, I can keep an eye out now that I'm here and pay more attention. I suppose it's time that I started doing my princessly duties and attended some of those meetings.
Please do. I know they'll suck and no one will listen to you, but anything at this point that you can find or that we can give you is huge. We're trying to... I don't know. I mean, this is massive. And these people have gotten away with it for so long.
And if you hear any of them talk, there's no problems going on, so...
Oh my god. That's insane. That's insane. I still can't process that. And I know we talked about this, but oh my god. Being here, it's infuriating.
Well, you can kind of see
Do
that...
you know what one of those fuckers said to me? They were like, oh, you took care of those kobolds. The fucking kobolds was like maybe the second thing I ever did with the fucking Adventurers Guild. Sorry, we didn't. Sure, that was important. That put us on the lead to Aramon, but oh my god, have we done so much more than that? And no one cares because if I told them, they wouldn't believe me.
Or they wouldn't want to hear it.
I don't know. It's just no wonder people like that can take over a place like this. You know what I mean?
Well, you can see walking around the town, it's very easy to pretend like nothing else matters. The city's beautiful. The people are happy. They're safe.
Yeah.
And Broadfield is so far away. And the Vale even further.
I mean, even Hightower. It's everywhere that isn't here.
Well, all we can do is do something about it then.
Right.
I can do from within as much as I can, and you and the ticket takers can do from without.
Go team. Honorary ticket taker you are.
I need to figure out where my brother sits on all of this.
I mean...
We've
yeah.
been apart for so long, I don't have a read on him, and I haven't been able to sit down with him since I got home. So...
Yeah. If you could look into it. I mean, it's very likely not. But... I don't know. Maybe he's being fed a completely different story.
I can't imagine the last time he's left the palace, so that's quite probable.
That's... wow. That's crazy.
Well, he will be at least traveling throughout Alyria next week for his birthday celebration.
Wow, I can't believe he'll go into the one city that has no problems. That's crazy. Wow, what a brave adventurer he is.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm not trying to dunk on your brother.
Well, I don't know whether we should dunk on him or not. He might be in Yusef's pocket, or he could be his own person. I think he was 10 years old when I left. No, not even 10. He was 8. So...
None of it's his fault.
Yeah.
He's a kid. So... even if he is, you know, corrupted, it's not...
Mm-hmm.
that's not on him.
Yeah. Around that moment, there's a knock on the door, the main door to the whole
Right.
apartment. Uh, um, there's another knock a moment later, and she says, "I'm sure one of the servants will get it momentarily." Finally, the door.
Should I get it?
Oh no. They come from. There's a door on the other side, so they should come from
People
there.
knock on your door and then other people open it for them?
I don't think I'm supposed to open the door at all on my own. That seems I don't know if that's unsafe. I don't know.
I don't
was
know.
always told not to
Just-
open doors.
No, I mean, no, that's just sure. Yeah, safety measures. That's just. Sorry, this is
Sorry.
brand new for
Yes.
me.
Well, it wasn't like this in Nuevia, so it's relatively brand new for me as well. The door opens, and you hear two voices muffled talking in the outer chamber. And then...
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead. Make a perception check. Yep.
Yeah.
With
Can I
advantage,
try
with
to
hearing.
listen?
Yep.
Why roll a d8? Why do that?
That's a D20.
Perception. 19.
19. It's difficult to hear because you're kind of listening through two walls, but you very
Right.
clearly hear the maid's voice. The princess is getting ready right now, and then you hear a like. I just need to see her.
Oh, it's the brother! Holy shit, right? Because he's the sick one.
Oh, well, maybe.
Wait, no, who's the sick one? Is it her fiance?
Yeah.
Oh, it's her shitty fiance. Oh no. Alyria.
Yes?
Please don't say it's your fiance, right? Because
Oh,
he's
no.
coughing. He's coughing. Should I be here? Should I leave?
Oh
Should I
no,
hide under
you're
the bed?
fine. A moment later, the maid enters in and she goes, Princess, Crown Prince Vicus is outside. Would you like to see him? Or the princess says, "Oh no, I'm currently getting undressed," and she like takes off her cloak, and starts to like undo her belt buckle. She's like, "And my friend Marlow is helping me get dressed, so I don't need your assistance. But no, tell him that I'll see him at the dinner. To save a seat for me, please. Thank you very much." And the maid kind of backs out and leaves. And you hear the "Oh, right," as they kind of walk away.
When did he get sick?
Oh, he's been sick as long as I've known him.
What does he have?
I think he was just a weak birth.
So, like, his whole life he's just been
His
sick?
whole life he's been sickly, which is very not Noavian. They're a very hale and healthy group.
Has he always lived here?
Oh no, he's only visiting. He's visiting for the birthday and to spend time with me, I suppose.
Wow, how romantic.
But no, he was in Nuevia up until just a couple days ago.
Huh.
I think he might have spent a little bit of time here as a child, just as like a.
Right.
But no, he was being raised by the queen there. Although they don't call them queen. What do they call them? The regent of the people. His mother, and her consort, his father. Yes.
I just don't know much about the international relations.
Oh, I really would recommend going there sometime. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah, Abel talks about it with a lot of love.
Yes. I think all of the Noavians love their country very much, and recognize the dangers of the world in which we live very clearly. That's why they're all trained in war, as Ogwan showed so prominently yesterday, or earlier today.
He's fantastic, my god.
Yes, he was my trainer. In
Really?
Moravia. Yes. So I was supposed to be training with with Abel's mother, the war mage, but she realized very quickly that I preferred hands-on, and she passed me off to Ogwan, and he instructed me in the way of the forge.
You and Abel are so much alike.
Well, don't tell him that.
I mean that in
He
a very
might
good
be
way.
offended by that, but I appreciate it.
I will keep it to myself.
Yes. He's a good one.
Sorry, I'm like, I got a lot of. I'm making my conspiracy.
Oh my gosh, I've unraveled it all.
I think I have.
Yeah. This is like,
I don't know.
it's like, this is Charlie Day at the thing. Like,
This is exactly
look.
Charlie Day. Okay. Wait. Okay. What is the fiance's name, by the way? And what is the? Okay, first of all, what's the brother's name?
The king?
Yeah. What's your brother's name?
Oh, his name's Renly Bellinor. The
I
third.
already wrote that down.
Yeah.
The
The third. My husband, future husband's name? Crown Prince Vicus Asara.
Vicus.
Such an odd name for an Oavian. Vicus.
Yeah. I don't know. Even if you loved him and you told me you were marrying a Vicus, I'd be like, oh, okay.
Yes, it's like a plant.
It's like a plant.
Mm-hmm. Not a healthy one.
Right. Clearly not.
Well, I should probably wash off this grease. And then, but feel free to make yourself home in the antechamber. There's snacks, books, readings.
Also, I'm about to make a wild proposition. You can tell me this is the dumbest thing you've ever heard, but hear me out.
Okay.
Does Yusuf live in the castle?
Yes.
Where?
Oh, the crown prince or the crown regent's quarters are kind of opposite mine, so the opposite side of the castle or the palace. Yes.
Okay, and if he was at dinner, he'd be distracted, yes, and hopefully servants would be busy with that.
I imagine he's probably currently actually overseeing the setup for the dinner itself.
Do you think how heavily guarded would we talking? Pretty heavily guarded, right?
At least 2 guards outside of the...
Interesting.
Are you going to go break into the crown
I
regent's?
want to. I know it's a dumb idea. But I've already got one. I already broke into one Curie Regis's place. I can do it again.
I'm not going to ask who or where.
Trallo,
Oh.
who's also a priori.
Is he? He seems too dumb to be a
Oh, it's
priori.
very, very low.
Oh. Well, he was going on about somebody breaking in.
Yeah.
Mum's the word.
Yeah. Also, he's having an affair.
Who would have an affair with Tarlo?
His male servant, Marlin.
His wife will be quite interested in hearing that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to leak it to the press, but I don't know if they're gonna hush hush.
Did you last night?
Yeah, I like dropped it off anonymously.
It wouldn't be published till tonight.
Wow. Hopefully.
So we'll see. Oh, that might make dinner quite interesting.
Sorry.
I mean,
I just wanted to
I like
fuck
a
up
little
his life.
fireworks.
I didn't
it's
know.
fine.
I can't prove that he's a priori, but I can fuck up his life a little bit. So it seemed justifiable to me.
If you were going to not at all recommend it, but if you were going to go to the Crown Regent's quarters, I might recommend attempting the servants' passages.
Okay. God, I wish I wasn't so distinct.
Unfortunately, I don't have any of the magical means to fix that.
Neither do I. It's fine. Hmm. Servants don't have outfits, do they?
Um,
Servant outfits.
the maid that you seen was wearing a simple black dress, and the butler you saw was wearing a black trench overcoat.
Hmm. Hmm. Well, I shouldn't, right? I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't do this. I did have to like take out guards to get into it.
Oh yes, I think that
Not take out. Nobody was murdered in the process.
I do know that the bottom of this hill is the military district where the prison sits, and I would very much hate to have to visit you there.
I would hate to be in prison. I feel like there's something in there, and I really want to know what it is, and it's fine. It's fine. Nothing I steal from him can be used as evidence anyway. It's fine.
Well, I can't do it now, but if I could get a key of his, I could make a copy of it. So the next time you were here, I could potentially give you a key to his quarters.
Alyria, that would be the coolest shit ever.
So, yes, so I will work to get his key somehow.
Okay. Do you need help trying to get his key?
Oh, they're very closely guarded.
Right.
Honestly, I think playing my part will lower his guard a little bit.
Sure.
And
he hates me, so...
He doesn't... I don't know who he likes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But if you are working to uncover out there, I should be putting myself at risk a little bit here, and I will be happy to take that as my mission.
What's the worst he can do?
Nothing.
I mean, just be
he could lock me away here until my wedding day, I suppose.
He can do that? And nobody would be like, hey, don't do that? I guess he's in charge.
Yep.
So... This is dumb.
Yes. Well, we've got about an hour until dinner.
Okay, I'll hang out. You get ready.
She goes off, disappears into a little bathroom, and you hear the sound of pouring water and smells of perfumes coming out. There's a well-apportioned bookshelf in her sitting room. There's a canter of water. There's a bottle of wine that is corked, but there if you'd like some.
No, I'll grab a book.
Okay.
No, I will read the book that the bartender gave me, which is, of course, Origin of the Primals from the Canary.
Origin of the Primals. Okay, go ahead and make just an intelligence check to see how much you get through while you're waiting for this hour.
7. I'm very nervous about this.
Okay, so you get through the little beginning bits.
Okay.
And some of it's like, I just hit the wrong button. Some of this you've heard before, and, just like in general knowledge of the world kind of stuff. But you do note immediately that there is a little bit of canonical difference here. My computer just froze. All right, there you go. So the Primals were the chaotic elemental beings that... So before the planet of Alyria was formed by the gods, it was a place called the Void, where there were elemental beings of power and might that were in constant conflict and war with each other. Mm-hmm. And your understanding is that the Primals were defeated by the gods, and that's what allowed them to bring order. But this book seems to suggest that the gods did not defeat the Primals, that the Primals were instead caged, and their energy was used as the core for the planet. And so that if you were to dig deep enough, you might approach the void at the center of the planet and potentially release the Primals. They are, I'll give you where are they? The Primals, there are 2, 3, 4, there's 5 of them.
Wait, hold on.
And this is about the five. Like getting to the 5 is probably as far as you go, but you can read more later on to get more information.
Okay.
So the first is Ixion, also called the Firebird.
Okay. Yes.
Marduk, the Titan.
Okay.
Ouroboros, the Crushing Tide.
Mm-hmm.
Raiden with a Y, not an I. The Howling Gale.
Okay.
And Cernobog, which is Czernobog. The Miasma.
Cernobog?
Yeah, Cernobog.
Bog.
Yeah, OG. And they were the elemental forces that were in this space before the gods of order came and placed order on them. But you're like thinking back to religious studies, the general like religious story is that the 9 gods destroyed the chaos. But this book is suggesting that they were not destroyed, they were simply locked away.
Damn, the real truth comes out.
But there's more. I mean, like, you're like, oh, this is a little bit of a heretical book. A little bit.
That dude was rad. I fucking trust him. Hell yeah.
So you could read more of it later on to get more information there.
Damn. If my man isn't Vox Populi, he should be.
He might be. You never know.
Yeah, you never know.
All right. As you read, about an hour passes or so, and then you hear, "Do I look all right?" And the princess has come out of her room, and she's wearing this gorgeous, I mean, it's beautiful, yellow ball gown type style dress, white gloves, very Belle in Beauty of the Beast. Her hair kind of pinned up with like a small tiara at the top. I feel like something's bound my back.
I mean, do you need it loosened?
I don't think it can be. I think...
Oh, God.
That would be unfortunate if I were just to fall out of all of this.
I guess. I mean, you look great. Yeah.
Thank you. I thought we match a little bit. This blue goes very well with the yellow.
There we go.
But so we walk to the banquet hall.
Yes.
So she kind of leads you away, and the moment she opens the door, there's 2 maids out front who immediately start kind of fussing over her and like straightening up elements. One of them puts like a little shawl over her shoulders to cover the bare shoulders a little bit.
Right, of course. No bare shoulders.
No bare shoulders.
My God.
Like one of them like purposely like pulls one little hair out and like twists it so there's just got a little ringlet of hair and like putting everything in place. You must look beautiful. Prince Vicus is here, and the princess goes, "I will look like this one way or the other." And she straightens her neck and walks very calmly and collectedly back towards the maze, towards the main entrance hall, and then down the main entrance hall into the banquet hall, which is an enormous building, a very long wooden table at the center, gorgeously decorated with seating arrangements. There's sturgers and plates and folded napkins and 3 different goblets in front of each thing, and like 8 different silverware containers, and there's beautiful flowers of all different types and make, and lights lining the whole space. And there are, let me count,
candlesticks, and they start singing.
Yes, be our guest, be our guest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 seats around this very large table. Kind of all focused towards one end. This table could probably seat 50 people comfortably.
Yeah.
But towards one end, they're all seated. There's one, all the chairs are the same. They're gorgeous mahogany red velvet cushioned, but the chair at the end is a little bit more ornately established.
For Yusef, I'm sure.
And
Like,
Yusef.
dumb bitch.
there are named placards in front of each seat to kind of mark who sits where. And so Laura says, I doubt they put
I'm
us,
sitting as far away from Yusef as possible, aren't I?
I doubt they put us together. And she kind of looks at
clearly
it and
not.
she points and she goes, yes. The seat at the very end.
Yeah!
She says,
hell yeah, me!
but you're next to Ogwyn, so like that's a good
Oh
seat.
my god.
And let's see, Thornton's across from you, so not a bad place. Much more fun than where I'll be
It's like
sitting.
being put at the kids' table, but all the kids are way cooler.
Way cooler. But I'll be up on this end.
Okay, well,
Yes.
shout if you need, ring if you need help, and I don't know, faint. I don't know.
Of course, yes, I shall. And then you see, like, people start coming in. You see the familiar visage of Uriel come in with his nose turned up.
And Sully comes in.
Sully's like,
Sully
fuck this guy.
says, are you having a dinner party
Yes.
in here? Hello?
Oh no. Thornton comes in and sees you and is excited to see you, and then notices he's sitting across from you, and he's like, this is great. We can sit across.
This is great.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Tarlo comes in a huff and immediately goes to Uriel, and they start whispering over in the corner.
What are they whispering about?
Make a
Perhaps
perception
that
check.
his affair has been found out, maybe?
Make a perception check.
With advantage because I'm trying to hear? Maybe?
Yeah, with advantage because it's hearing, yeah.
23.
You hear,
I really care
like,
about this.
before he gets kind of out of sight with his whispering, you do hear him say, have you seen what they've been saying about me in the papers?
Yes! Yes! Fuck yes!
And then
This is my favorite thing I've ever done in D&D is fucking pull a tabloid nightmare for this
yes.
man.
And he gets off to the corner and out of hearing sight. Out of earshot. And then Unali comes in. She's not sitting next to you, but she's sitting close. And then it's very interesting. As there's, like, eventually as everyone starts taking their seats, you notice that Uriel, Dane, Tarlo are sitting much further towards the head of the table. There's an empty seat.
Oh, because it's a priori fucking club up
Maybe.
at the table. I see how it fucking is.
Princess Alyria is sitting to the left of the main chair. She's sitting there. There's a seat next to her you presume is probably for Vicus. And then the main chair's there, and then the seat next to it is also empty. Once everybody's accounted for and present, everyone's there except for Vicus and the king, who you haven't met yet. And servants start coming in to fill water goblets, and somebody kind of reaches around you to pour a water goblet, and they whisper in your ear, "We always remember." And he steps away.
Hell yeah!
And you turn and just look, and Devin is moving down the line and filling up water goblets along the line.
I just nod in thanks, as one would do for a servant.
And he nods in your direction as well. And then at that moment you hear like a coming from the entrance hall, and you turn to see tall, very slender, like not like he watches what he intakes, like frail, darker skinned, kind of hair very closely cropped to the head and like neatly lined and edged around, a thin beard, kind of patchy but like trying, but wearing very elegant garb, which you recognize the style of to be very much what like Abel would wear.
Right.
Kind of sashes, there's large beaded necklace and things like that. Crown Prince Vicus enters in, and the one thing you do notice is that he has a very his eyes are very golden, unlike Abel's like brown eyes or whatever, but very golden eyes. And he kind of walks in and then makes his way to the princess, and Alyria immediately stands, like greets him curtsies or whatever.
Right.
And then she leads him over your direction. And says,
I stand, obviously, yeah.
Well, before we sit, of course, I wanted to introduce Vicus to my dear friend, Prince Vicus. This is my friend Marlow Ebiorn. She's traveling with Abel right now as part of the Adventuring Guild. And Vicus goes, oh, what a pleasure it must be to travel with the intelligent, wise Abel.
Insight check. He hates Abel,
go ahead.
doesn't he? 13.
Yeah, I mean, like, he does not necessarily mean what he's saying. Yeah.
Sure.
You don't get the emotional, like, this
Right.
is, like, there's clearly, like, years of emotion behind what he's saying, and you don't know the full, like, landscape or topography of it, but you definitely, he's saying something he doesn't necessarily mean.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, well, and I've heard such incredible stories about your work with the princess. Thank you for showing her the world, as it were.
Yes, of course. Very important.
Excuse me for a moment, and he kind of steps aside with a handkerchief and, like, is coughing for a moment. Oh, this dreadful air. The Alyrian continent is plays havoc on my sinuses.
I'm sure it's much nicer to be close to the water.
Yes, Nuevia, much more tropical, not quite as pressing on the senses, as it were. I would very much look forward to getting back, but I'm very excited to be spending some time with my dear Alora. And Alora says, yes, it'll be a wonderful week.
Of course.
Let me see.
Oh, they hate each other.
Oh, Vicus rolled a 3. He wouldn't have picked up on it anyway. And Alora just kind of looks at you sidelong, and then, well, let's get you seated, Vicus. I don't want you to exert yourself too much. And Vicus says, yes, of course, thank you, Alora, you're so kind. And she leads him back over. She pulls out his chair and sits him down next to her, and then she pulls out and sits there. And then Yusef comes in a moment later. And he's kind of surveying the scene. He goes around shaking everyone's hands. He's smarmy and political. He does acknowledge you and say, well, so glad to see that the champion has arrived to grace our table. With the surprises, of course, that the other two champions were already here. And then he goes up to the head of the table, pulls out the main chair, but then he sits on the chair to the right.
Right, because it's for the king.
Yeah.
Right.
And then at that moment all of the servants arrive in the back carrying food, but they all stand in a line waiting. And then you hear like a gentle sound from the top. And then Lenaria arrives at the top of a staircase at the back of the banquet hall. And then she kind of casts a little bit of a spell. There's some lighting happening. All of the candelabras come up, and then she waves, and the door next to her opens, and out walks King Renly Bellinor. He is strong, very, very similar features to Alora. Tannish skin, blonde hair, blue eyes. He's 17, or he's almost 17 years old, so he's still youthful in appearance. Fresh, clean face.
So he's got, when he had 17, 1 year.
1 year till he'll be king. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot can
I bet
happen.
someone's really excited about that. Wow.
Yeah. But he's wearing, fairly, like, for a king, like, you're looking around the room, and the Master of Coin and the Lord of Antiquities and the Crown Regent are all dressed in this peacocking appearance, and Renly's very plainly dressed in much the same way that Alora dresses herself a lot of the time. Very simple garb of gold, yellow, and white.
Right.
And he's wearing a crown on his head, and he descends the staircase with Lenaria. And then Lenaria sits next to Yusef, and then the king goes to the front of the table. So happy to have...
So on the other side of that is Alora and Vicus?
Yeah, so it's Yusef and Lenaria, and then Alora and Vicus.
Alora and Vicus, okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to...
You're kind of getting a sense of, like, it's probably power.
Sure.
Yeah, and so, like, the Crown Regent, the Princess, the Archmage, the future King of Nuevia, and then it
Right.
goes like the master
And
of
then
coin.
it's Yusef making the order from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
And so the king's there, and he says, "Thank you all for joining us for this wonderful dinner. It is nice to see all of your faces, all of my advisors who I trust, and our visiting friends from Nuevia, of course, Prince Ficus and Ambassador Oguan. As well as, I hear, the champion of today's Trials of the Andronic Key. Please welcome not only the commander of the Fleet Foxes, I believe, but also the leader of the Adventurers Guild, Darkon. You seem to have chosen very good people to give the blessing of the king. So thank you." And he kind of claps in your direction, and everybody politely claps the moment he does that.
I nod at the king, and then I acknowledge Darkon, because of course Darkon is
Darkon
responsible
is already
for everything we've done.
Yeah,
I
Darkon's
know,
already
I know
drinking.
that fucker's already drinking. You didn't have to tell me twice.
And then the moment the king sits, the waiters all descend, and they pour wine, they serve the first course, and then they back off and vanish as
God.
gentle
Mars
conversation
looking at
pulls
this
up.
tiny little plate of appetizer, and she's so confused.
It's
She's
just like a bite.
So small, and she knows. She's like, I mean, even if they have 3 courses, this is so small. How many courses are there gonna be? Oh no! How long am I here for?
Oguan looks over. He goes, "Don't worry. I think we might be in for 8 or 9 courses tonight. So this is just a small little taste. Yes.
8 or 9.
The Alyrians, they like to just sit and snooze. I don't know, but it is what it is."
Great! Wow, I'm so excited. I am glad. Oh God, I'm more than glad to be sitting here. I cannot stress enough.
Believe me, I came into the banquet hall after it was set up, and Yusef had me down towards him, and I moved the cards. Don't tell Nadia; she would be upset, but that is fine.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait, this is me, Grace, thinking. Wait a minute, he hates Oguan.
Yep.
That's so weird. Wait, why would he do that? What's his play, motherfucker? Hold on. Now I have to write this down. I don't know.
I don't trust this guy.
I'm fucking on to Yusef. You don't have to, please don't tell me anything. I would love also, as much as I would love to be right, it is also equally funny if I am dead.
Completely wrong.
and Yusef is perfectly fucking innocent. I trust this motherfucker absolutely not, and I will destroy his life. Okay. Okay, we can continue.
All right. So then Thornton is there, and he's complaining because they're only serving wine, and he wants some good ale.
Hell yeah! This is my man right fucking here.
And Darkon just pats him and hands something to him, and Thornton takes it and lifts it up. It's the flask that Sora gave Darkon all the liquor in.
Oh my god, he still has it!
And he pours some out into to Thornton's water glass.
God, he's ruined.
Yeah. And then they kind of go about smoozing and talking, and then but there's just general conversation happening around, and you're more than welcome to try to listen to it, to take part in it.
I think what I'm gonna do is just hang with my boys down here, and frequently check in with if I can hear if the conversation kind of comes to a lull, if I can kind of just check in on what the general conversation is there. But I'm pretty sure I think it's just gonna be polite nothingness.
Yeah.
So I don't feel the need to really be active listening.
Okay.
You know.
Okay, good. Just make a perception check with advantage because you're just keeping an eye on things.
20 unnatural.
20. Okay, yeah. I mean, it is banality. You hear them talking about random people from the Prisma Quarter complaining about the riffraff that are coming in drunk out of the theater district after shows, and then making messes in the streets, and then people have to clean them up, and they maybe like to put in to install walls to separate the Prisma Quarter from the rest.
Oh my god!
And then somebody Lenaria speaks up, and she very clearly says, that type of behavior may work in Hightower, where they like to segregate their population. That has never been the culture of Anovia, and I do not believe that it should begin. And Yusef goes, yes, of course, this is the city of all people.
Right, that's what I was saying the whole time, of course.
Of course, the city of all people. And then, like, the transition happens, and you do hear them talking loosely about, like, what to do with a particular part of town, which has been kind of left alone for a while, and they're thinking about reclaiming zones of it. Let me look up the name really quick. Where is my map? Oh, there it is. So they're talking specifically about a location called the Knoll of Eternal Rest. And there's specifically, like, that region, like, you know enough about...
Oh, that's gotta be where the god is.
Oh, no, yeah. You know enough that it's, like, it's the graveyard of Anarvir. But it's the zone of Anarvir that used to be watched over by the god, like the god who went bad, by his people.
Right, okay.
By the orcs. And there's still a couple orcs who managed it, but their numbers have dwindled so much in the last so often that they're not able to manage the whole space. And so there's talk about the Iron Mount would like to expand into that zone and claim more of that land for construction and storage and things like that. But they're getting complaints from the orcs to say that this is blessed ground and they can't take it, blah, 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 blah. So there's this kind of thing happening. But for the most part, it's just general blah, blah, blah. The third and fourth course come out. You get like a little amuse-bouche, you get a little salad, you get a little soup. The fourth course is an actual protein with like actual like, and they do ask if anybody doesn't eat meat, and so they give you a vegetarian option for that.
So sorry. Oh, I turn on instinct to look for Abel and to see if he wants my meat, because he's always going on about it, and then I'm like, he's not here.
Yeah. Ogon says, I'll take it if you don't want it.
I give it to Ogon.
And he puts it on there. Because, they do like to eat here. That's something you can always say about Illyrians. They like to sit fat and happy. And the conversation kind of comes to a lull at some point, and then... After drinks, after the main entree has passed, you hear the voice of Unali speak up. Quite interesting readings in the paper today. Did anybody see it?
What's happening?
Immediately, Tarlo goes, I don't spend any time focusing on the drab that those mongers of gossip publish out of the theatre district, and surely, Nolly, one of your acumen rights, who values knowledge and intelligence, should not soil
give
yourself.
It to the press in the theatre district. I was so correct.
And Unali says, "Oh, I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, Taro. I was just talking about the recent festival announcements coming out of Broadfield and the Riverlands district. They sound like they're doing some quite wonderful things. What were you referring to?" And Tarlo but I don't know what you're talking about. And Lenaria goes, "I did seem to remember your name was mentioned in the paper today, Tarlo. Quite an interesting expose, surely all fiction, of course." And Tarlo's like, "Well, yes, you cannot believe anything that they say in these dastardly papers. This is trying to damage I'm trying to make Alyria cultural landmarks safe, and people are attacking me because they're just attacking me, and how dare they? My wife will be so mortified to read such an embarrassing article in the paper." And Uriel says, "Yes, well, we should really work to set those papers down. I've been suggesting that we shut them down for years. It might be time." And Yusef goes, "Yes, well, that might be something to consider." The conversation continues for a moment, and then Renly finally speaks. This is the first time you've heard the king speak.
Okay.
I don't think it's a smart idea to tell our people what they can or cannot say. And Alyria says, yes, of course. That's, they have their freedoms for a reason, don't they? Of course you support that, Yusef. Yusef says, yes, of course. I would never want to impinge upon the rights of the Illyrian people to be happy and to make their own things. And oh well, Tarlo, like people say that you're sleeping around with your stable boy. Worse things have been said. The table goes dead silent. Tarlo, flustered, stands up. I really must be going. I must excuse myself. Thank you, Your Majesty. Thank you, thank you. Thank you, Crown Regent. I must be going. I have much business to attend to. Establishing the museum. I shall see you all next week for our weekly dinners. Bye. And he storms out of the room.
This is the greatest thing I've ever done.
The moment he leaves, Tarlo.
I'm so happy.
Thornton leans over to you. You have any clue what they're talking about?
Honestly, I was barely paying attention.
Yeah, me too. I don't know what Darkon has been pouring into my drink over here, but it's quite strong. You want some?
I'm sure it is. Oh, no.
Oh, smart. And drinks it. He drinks another sip of it. Ogwan, that would never have happened at a Noavian banquet, I can assure you.
Hey, it is a free show.
Yeah, I mean, cheers to that. And he holds up his
Isn't
wine
it?
glass.
I just kind of look at him and go, absolutely tragic about Tala's home being broken into, isn't it?
So tragic.
Hell yeah! Oh god!
He rolls so high on his perceptions, I don't know what that is, or his insights, I don't know what that is. But the final course is served. It's an ostentatious,
That's a dad thing.
yeah, it's like an ostentatious foamy dessert. It's like sweet, but like barely there.
Deconstructed.
Yeah.
Aerated.
And then they kind of all they start to clear the plates and everything, and then slowly individuals of the Curie Regis excuse themselves from the okay, I showed my dues and now I'm leaving. Until it gets down to the point where it's just you and Yusef, the king. Vicus excuses himself at some point because he's feeling ill. But the princess and Ogwan. Oh, and
wow.
Lenaria's there too. Yeah.
Tough crowd.
Yeah.
Woof. I'm minding my own fucking business unless anyone says shit to me.
Lenaria does kind of direct to you. Well, I mean, this dinner was supposed to be in your honor. Quite a spectacular show at the arena today, Marlow.
Oh, thank you.
It was even more impressive when someone decided to release a manticore, and you were able to deal with it in such quick fashion.
Yeah, I think it only took about, what was it? 12 seconds, maybe?
Oh, I think it might have only been 6 by my watch. And she kind of looks at Yusef. Yusef says, well, we have to keep things exciting and interesting for the crowd. We don't want them to get bored now, do we? That's how we get our alms.
No, thank you. It was, I think, a challenge that looked very exciting, but, really was quite easy, as you saw.
Oh, yes. It was quite unfortunate. I did see, Ogwan, you did seem to struggle there for a moment, didn't you? Ogwan, well, it's a little difficult when a beast claws at your face 3 times. When was the last time you picked up a sword, Yusef? And Yusef says, well, there are more administrative concerns on my plate. But I would be happy to show you what I've learned in my training over the years, Ogwan, anytime. And Ogwan says, I would love to see that. And then they kind of eye each other for a moment. And then Alyria says, is nobody going to mention my work this afternoon? And Rinley says, what are you talking about? What's her work? What did she do?
She she participated in the team battle. She won with me and Ogon.
You fought. And he looked at Yusef. Why didn't you tell me that she was fighting? I would have come to see. Yusef says, well, I didn't know that she was doing that. Quite rebellious of the princess.
Well, worked out in everyone's favor. I think she very much proved herself more than capable.
Oguan says, yes, it might be more worth your while to face off against her if you'd like somebody to skirmish with there, Yusef.
Oh my god.
Thornton, sits up. I think that Draco might have poisoned me. He puts his head down again. Said his name completely wrong.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Would somebody like to check on him, please? Brinley says, and a maid
I
comes
get
in, so the moment
Actually,
you stand up to help,
if a maid's doing it, I won't.
you go to move, and Devin grabs the maid's cuff and pulls her back, and he moves forward to help Thornton.
And whoa, perception check. Whoa.
Yeah.
What's Vox Populi trying to pull here? Hold on. Please roll high. Please roll. Okay. 22. What's he doing?
He gets really close to Thornton, grabs him to help lift him up, and he looks very pointedly in your direction. And then you see him hold up a 2 and a 3, and then he walks back with Thornton.
A 2 and a 3. What does that mean?
Yeah. You're not sure.
Huh? Okay. Devin's insane. I don't know anything.
He guides Thornton out down the hallway.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, sure. That's insane. Devin's insane. Devin's a wild card, and I don't know what to do with that.
Vox Populi in general is a wild card. God knows.
Yeah, I pay no mind to that because I don't know what the fuck he meant.
Yeah. And a moment later, 10 minutes or so goes by, and then he re-enters, and he kind of looks at you and then goes back in line with the rest of the...
I give him a look that says, Devin, what the fuck are you talking about?
And he just shakes his head, and then he stands firmly with the other maids and butlers. Eventually, Yusef excuses himself from the evening. I'm afraid I must get some rest. We have big business for tomorrow, of course. More planning for the king's birthday, so good night all. And he excuses himself and heads out.
I kind of look at Alyria with eyes that say, can I, leave? Can I, get away?
Alyria stretches for a moment. She says, Lunaria, I believe Ma was hoping to visit your tower this evening. Will you be there later on? And Lunaria says, actually, I was heading that way now, and I do not sleep very much, so you're more than welcome to stop by any time you need to, Ma.
Thank you. I should only be right behind you.
Sounds good. And Lunaria stands up to dismiss herself as well, and the princess immediately stands up and goes over to you and Ogon. Shall we retire for a nightcap before we all head off our separate ways?
That sounds wonderful.
Fantastic. And the three of you stand up, and she leads you towards her antechamber, and...
I also before that, I want to kind of give Devin a look, and then just kind of nod towards where I think the front entrance is. Fucking meet me later, Devin. We gotta talk.
Yeah. And so she rings a bell when you get to the antechamber or whatever, and somebody knocks on the front door. Devin is standing there, and he's holding a carafe of wine and a few glasses. You rang, did you?
Get in here.
He walks in. Do you not understand? 2nd floor, 3rd room.
Devin, I was at the worst fucking event of my life. I was having a panic attack the whole time. I'm sorry that I don't know your fucking cool ass code.
Sorry, well, at least, whatever. The maids will be mad that I took their job, but that's fine. Is he cool? This one? And Ogon's standing there who are you? Like,
Yeah, he's cool. He's Abel's dad. He's one of ours.
oh, is this the Vox Populi man? Oh, yes, I'm cool.
He's cool.
I'm cool.
He's cool. Everyone in this room is cool.
And so Devin says, well, was quite a surprise to see you. Didn't expect it.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't expect to see you, so...
Yeah, I needed a
Same
job
here.
after, the Haverley estate fell through. You got to work, right? You got to find a
Of
place
course,
to do
you
your
have to
business.
get work.
Yeah.
Let's talk, gang. So, Oguan, remember when I came up to you and I was like, oh my god, this chess piece,
Right, of course, yes.
That was a priori, and Yusef took the bait and reacted to it twice.
He, Oguan's watching and Devin goes, yes, that seems about right.
What do you know?
Well, I just managed to be the one who has made his way to being Yusef's private footman.
Yes! Fucking my man!
I don't yet have any papers or anything incriminating, but I've been keeping a close eye on him. I'm waiting for him to leave something in the open that's a little more obvious.
Yes.
And Princess goes, could you get me his key? And Devin thinks for a moment, for his office. That shouldn't be too difficult.
We want to make a copy of it, and then so hopefully when we come back, we can get someone better. We have a Vox Populi member with us now, traveling with us. You haven't seen us since then.
Who's traveling with you?
Juridan.
Juridan. Well, that seems like a powder keg about to explode with some of you.
Yeah, I don't think they think the otter's a person. I don't think they've caught on to that yet. But
Okay.
I absolutely, yes, they're with us now. So when we come back next time, you can.
Yes. Well, yes, I should be able to get the key. That seems like a plan. When are you planning on returning?
Once we deal with fucking Feldspar, hopefully.
The moment you say Feldspar, he, you see a complete change in his physical look.
What?
I suppose you've heard exactly what's happening there, right?
Yes, that's what we're going to deal with. Also, devil. Don't worry about it.
There's something. Whatever they're doing there is coming to a close.
Oh no. Oh, Devin.
They've been. My latest from Vox Populi there is that they have been working 24/7 to complete the excavation of the Quicksilver mines.
Mm-hmm.
The shipments are going out. They were going out by cart for a while, but they're just stockpiling them now.
They're just stockpiling it?
Yes.
Wow, oh boy, hope no one steals this. My god, they're so obvious.
Yes, but it seems like the Tidewaters are in the process of finishing up their work and abandoning the city.
Fuck. Okay, well, everyone else is already headed there. I'm gonna go rendezvous with them very soon, so hopefully we can catch that before it's over.
Well, that's good. Keep an eye out. I have a good friend there. His name's Yorian. I believe that he is parading as a risk breaker.
Okay.
But he's one of the two that are heading up Vox Populi. I don't much like the other man who's running Vox Populi there, but Yorian's a good contact.
Thank you.
And Devin, I think we have a mission then, and he bows to the princess and nods in your direction. Send Jay, my love, if you see her. And he walks out.
Yeah, will do.
Well, I feel like I just ran into something that is a little dangerous things to know.
Okay, but hear me out, Oguan. I'm gonna sound like a conspiracy theorist, but listen, right? Attack on the airship, right? Who would have known? Who would have leaked the travel plans? Someone in the Curia Regis, right? Okay, hear me out. What was the attack on the airship? Another airship from Nuavia. right? So what were they planning to do? What was the goal? Number one, who did they attack first? You. They gunned for you. Number two, why did they use a Nuavian airship? Oh, I don't know. To make it look like Nuavia was attacking Alyria? And who would that benefit the most? Someone who fucking hates Alyria, fucking hates Nuavia, would love to colonize it, probably. And, oh shit, a very powerful wizard who runs the organization that he seems to know about would suddenly get a fuck ton of Zephyrite, if that were to happen.
Which would be much more valuable commodity than the quicksilver that they're currently trying to mine.
Exactly.
That would be a bold
That's biding their
accusation.
time.
So are you implying that our crown regent is pushing for a war with Noevia?
I know I said it sounds like a conspiracy theory. It kind of is just a working theory. I don't have proof, but it all would make sense, wouldn't it?
I don't know if war would make the most sense. Noevia is not a force that you do not, you doubt. We are one of the only people in the entire world that survived the Veil.
Well, maybe that's why they're working with the Tidewaters.
Perhaps.
Because they've been going after you.
Well, we are
The Tidewaters want to open Azalor. Would that not fuck Nuavia up?
Unless they found something there that could damage the magical protections that we have in place. That is possible.
Maybe.
The Tidewaters are definitely terrified of Nuavia. We prevent them from operating anywhere outside of the Vanishing Isles, as long as,
So it'd be in their best interest to also take you out. Would it not?
It would.
Again, I'm not trying to come to you and say you have to believe this immediately. I don't have a lot of evidence for this. It's just what I'm running with currently.
Well, I will say it does not sound impossible. But I cannot move without some kind of proof.
I know. We're working on it.
I'm here for another week until the
But you know who
birthday.
is? My proven fucking a priori. Turlo Whistleton. And boy, oh, how tragic it is that someone broke into his fucking place and also leaked his affair,
And
isn't it?
There's Laura here's this age. I'm just very concerned. Why do you think that Tarlo is a priori? Because he's very dumb. He's a dumb man.
He's very low in the ranks. You can have... Listen, the first guy we fought from a priori, absolute idiot. Fucking loser. He's a pawn.
Right. But what evidence? Why Tarlo? Why are you questioning him?
Someone I trust a lot relayed that information to me and got it directly from spying on Armon.
Well, if Tarlo, I mean, he's a member of the Cura Regis, he would have access to the same information that Yusef has.
But I feel like it goes back to you. I mean, obviously, I think Tarlo was part of this, but I feel like the main issue is Yusef. But also Tarlo's the one that hopefully we can take down easier. Because he's an idiot and he's bound to fuck up.
There's, like Ogowan, there's not much I know I can do unless I find something,
Should I break back into his place again? I didn't find anything incriminating, really, the first time.
Oh, no, did you do that? You didn't do that alone, I assume.
No, I did. I had one other person.
I imagine that Tarlo has increased his, guard.
Well... did my best.
I think...
Listen, I'll get my group back here once we deal with fucking Feldspar, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
I think that's
I have a lot of
a
leads.
good plan.
I just don't know where to start, and I do need to make sure that the fucking Tidewaters don't end up with all of the Quicksilver from Feldspar.
I think, actually, that might be... If you can return for the celebrations next week,
Okay.
Yusef will be very distracted trying to appear to be the king while also celebrating the king's birthday. That might be the best opportunity that you have to do a little bit of investigation.
Perfect.
And I will make sure that I have the key before then.
Wonderful. That is a great
yeah.
plan.
And Ogon says like, well, I'll still be here if you need anything. I'm leaving the day after the birthday celebration.
I'm sure Abel will love to see you and probably,
Absolutely.
have something. I don't know. Sure. Abel will want to see you.
Of course. Well, it is getting quite late. It's always a pleasure to see you, Marlow.
Yeah.
When you see Abel, tell him to be safe. And I know you will look out for him as well.
Yeah, of course.
He nods and exits. The princess, well, are you heading off then?
Yeah.
Okay. And she goes into the other room to change really quickly. She says, I'll walk with you part of the way, to make sure you know how to get there.
Okay.
And then she leads you out onto the main castle grounds, palace grounds, and leads you around to the edge of the bluff. And she kind of pauses for a moment at the edge of the bluff, and you just see, like, from this angle, you can see the entire city stretched out below you. The tall walls wrapping around each district. And here it's very clearly easy to see the different districts because of the coloration of the buildings and the structure of the streets and the way they're kind of organized. And she's kind of looking out at all of this. And then she pauses for a moment and just kind of looks and then leads you off to the side. And there's a walkway that goes down the other side of the hill. And it goes into what you notice is a walled off portion of the city that is the Violet Conclave.
Okay.
And the buildings here are all tall, wooden with violet roofs and draperies and things. At the center of the conclave, there are 8 very tall wizard towers. But the one at the center is the one she leads you to. And she says, that's Lunaria's tower. I think it's like 3 knocks in a weird succession activates the one knock. I can't remember. It's like dot 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 or dot dot dot. I can't remember. Anyway, I'm sure she'll hear you. She's expecting you. But
okay.
Yes. But just keep an eye out. That's Volnir's tower there, next to it.
Cool.
And you see, like, there's a single light on in Volmir's tower as well.
Yeah. Probably hit him up when I come back.
But, well, as always, absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Keep safe.
You do the same.
Well, I don't know how much danger I can quite get into, but I might be pushing the boundaries to find out.
Hey. A little bit of danger is always good.
Yes. Well, she kind of tips her head in your direction and then turns and makes her way back to the palace.
Yeah.
And then you approach Lunaria's door and you knock a couple times and then the door opens and you can just enter in. It's interesting because, like, you enter in and you're in a room that looks like it's just like in a large mansion. There's no staircase going up or anything like that. You're like, why am I in a tower if this is the building that's here? And Lunaria's sitting there in, like, she's not wearing her standard, like, archmage outfit. She's just wearing a very simple kind of dress, like with a shawl over it to kind of keep warm in the cool. There's a fire going and she's pouring out tea. Would you like some tea?
I would love some.
She pours a cup for you and she holds out her hand and it floats over in your direction. Please, there's a little bit of a draft. You can close the door then.
Of course, I close the door.
And we are now safe and no one can hear us.
Thank you. Has Volmir spoken with you?
Yes, I received a message from him that when he was returning, He needed to check in with me about some things that were happening in Hightower.
Wonderful. I can get you the rundown really quick because I told him what was happening in Hightower. Let me check my journal to make sure that I get all this right. Hold on. So, Boreal Quarter, Hightower, right? Plague
The
going on
sickness,
there.
yes, of course.
Very tragic. Well, magically induced plague. Here we are. So, people dressing up as in violet robes, pretending, guy dressing up, pretending to give out cures, was using. Wait, what's the name of that fucking?
Balazar.
Was using Balazar quills. Okay, caught him in the middle of summoning them. Captured this necromancer, right? Poisoned well over 100 people. Said he didn't think the Violet Cloister knew about this plan, but don't trust him for a fucking second. And the goal is to take out the Nine Towers. He is part of the Shadow, which is, he says it's still out there,
yes.
and it's huge, and is working to take out the Nine Towers. And look at them. So,
wow, I fought the Shadow some time ago. They were not successful then. Just one. Do you have any other evidence that there are others working in this way?
I'm trying to think of what to trust this woman with. I'm trying to think if I want to tell her about a priori. Oh boy. Would you believe me if I said that was a group of people that was run by someone in the Violet Cloister that was very bad?
Do they carry these? And she holds out her hand, and an image of a queen chess piece appears in her hand.
I pull out the one I got. That's the one?
Yes, because we killed him.
Sorry? Pardon? Run that by me again. Just one more time.
The original leader of the Violet Cloister.
Right.
The original leader of this group.
Yes.
A priori.
Yes. But the back
was Volmir Rylis' father.
But the back and the worse. Or they never died. I don't know how to explain. There's a new person. He goes by the name of Ahriman. He does terrible.
Ahriman?
Yes.
You say he goes by the name of Ahriman. You are quite certain.
I'm confident because I have a person in my party.
She's listening to you, but she walks to a bookshelf.
Hear me out. He was a rat. He was a normal rat, and now he's a rat person because of the experimentation and augmentation that Ahriman has been doing.
She puts the book in front of you as you're talking.
I look at the book.
The title of the page is Ahriman.
Sorry? What's that?
You scan it. The book is talking about a son of Sumat, who's the Violet Dragon, the one who's sleeping in the Violet Conclave. One of the Empyrean dragons. His son, Ahriman, was fighting in the Vale alongside Lunaria Mistweaver, was attacked by Javaraya, the Dark Dragon.
Wow, hold on.
Dragged into the
Josh,
Vale.
Hold on. Wait a minute. So it's the son of...
The son of Sumat. Sumat's one of the Empyrean dragons. The only, everyone talks about the dragons are all asleep.
Yeah.
Sumat's the only one that people know exactly where he is because she's sleeping in the Violet Conclave. She's like next door.
Okay.
But her son, Ahriman, she had 3 sons.
Okay.
And Ahriman was the youngest. He was fighting with his brothers and with Lunaria Mistweaver against Javaraya, who's the Dark Dragon.
Okay.
And chased Javaraya into the Veil and was never seen again.
Oh my god. They're using Veil magic. They are opening rifts to the Veil all over the place. He's made a guy that could use the Veil powers. He puts... It's right there. I'm just saying.
So, either we believe that this person is the leader of your secret organization, or somebody who at least wants to pretend to be this person.
If I draw you a picture, will it do anything for you?
Well, it's difficult. If it's really a dragon, they can take any shape that they want.
But if I draw you a picture, will you at least tell me if you come across that
image? Yes, of course, yes.
Okay. I would like to draw Ahriman, because I've seen him.
I think you might have a sketch of him in your notebook already.
Perfect! I show Ahriman.
Okay, she looks at it. She goes up and grabs another book off the shelf. And sets it down in front of you.
Oh my god.
And flips to a page. And you see Victor Rylus.
What?
Volmir Rylus' father.
What? Huh? What? Margot's blank.
Yeah, she's just letting you process.
I've seen him. That was exactly what he looked like. Oh my god. Why would he take that shape?
Well,
that's a dead man.
Former Victor Rylus was the former Archon of Mysteries.
So what's he doing? Convincing people that Victor Rylus isn't dead?
Well, I mean, we killed Victor Rylus. He was trying to bring back necromancy. He was trying to merge necromantic magics with dunamancy, which would be quite destructive. And so he was found guilty, and the mages put him to death.
I don't think he's working. The person I've met named Ahriman. I don't think. I'm not seeing evidence that he's working with dunamancy, but I proceed to explain Source's creation, and the creation of Sword Nerida, which I will just say was combined with what Amalia knew and a lycanthrope. And I will not go into detail.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about the Veil Tether stuff, you know, that we've linked back to him. And
interestingly, people think that dunamancy is only about like gravity and time, but there's a bit of planar knowledge there. The ability to open rifts. It could be an element of it. His son is continuing that study now, but I trust Volmir. I think that he is not like his father.
Okay. I mean, I told him about this stuff. I didn't tell him about the rest of it.
He does not know that I know any of this. So when he reports to me, depending on the truthfulness of what he says, I'll know whether I can trust him or whether he's lying. But he was present shortly after. He stepped into his father's role shortly after his father's death. And has always been a loyal member of the Conclave.
Sure, I mean, you know better than I would.
Wow.
He's only been helpful to us.
But the specter of Victor Rylus hangs heavy on our organization. Many people do not trust us because of his actions. And it has been quite a long time of rebuilding that trust. But one of the things that Volmir is very much trying to do with his actions of trying to improve the quality of life for people in the Boreal Quarter, for instance.
Yeah. I'm sorry I'm giving you a lot of things at once and saying, I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry that I don't have a lot of the answers, but I hope that... I mean, I don't know. Could this dragon have survived a fight with an Empyrean and escaped from the Veil and is now here to sow chaos? Perhaps.
I don't know.
I would look for evidence of draconic influence. That might cue you in on what's
Josh,
going on.
have we anything to tie him to draconic influence?
Yeah, I would think so. The whole kobolds worshipping him.
I tell her about that! I told her about the kobolds worshipping him and saying that he was a dragon.
And the children, yeah, they called themselves the children of the new gods. She sits back at that. Yes. Go to Feldspar like you planned.
Okay.
If they are working there, then we should be able to find more evidence. But a wizard tricking kobolds into worshipping him as some kind of deity, not complicated. But that's definitely a potential piece of evidence towards this.
Okay. We are planning to be back within the week for...
Good. I look forward to your report. Yes, I look forward to hearing your report from that. You are going to free the city of Feldspar. Is there anything else that is part of your goal there?
I tell her about the Quicksilver.
Oh. Why would they need so much Quicksilver?
I tell her about what we've seen them do with Quicksilver.
Okay, yeah, opening portals and things. And she says, yes, but...
Because if it takes... I know that it's there, but if I try to explain it as Mar, it will take a
she, so they've used it to open portals.
Yes.
They could open a much larger portal.
They're stockpiling it for a reason.
Perhaps. Yes, I think that you and your group might be our best bet for uncovering any of this. I'm too close to the Curie Regis to... I know that there's someone there that I should not trust.
I have a question for you. How widely known was the symbol of a priori? The chess pieces. Who would have done that?
Almost anybody who in Curie Regis probably would have.
Okay. And who specifically would have responded to the names of those things? They all would...
I would say either a member of the organization or somebody who is aware of their potential influence, like myself.
I don't trust Yusuf.
Oh, I don't trust Yusuf either.
Well, no, I'm saying that Look, I have a lot of conspiracy theories about Yusuf, but I very much think Yusuf plays into a lot of this.
Interesting.
If you were wanting to do very powerful magic, would you not need or want a lot of Zephyrite?
Well, or Quicksilver. But
Why
Zephyrite is a much more dependable source.
Right, but you don't have it in Alyria.
No, that's why we have a trading partnership with Nuevia.
Right, except if you hated Nuevia, then wouldn't you want to colonize them?
Surely Yusuf would not plan such a foolish...
I tell her about the leaked travel plans and what I think that was... What my theory is that standing for, but at least I know that someone on the Curie Regis leaked the travel plans to fucking kill
Ogon.
either Ogon or Alora.
Well.
And I'm gonna be honest. I'm pretty sure Charlo's a part of it, but I don't know if he's smart enough to be the only one.
Tarlo, really?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. See, that's my thing.
She's
right?
casting.
If he's got to be low
saying.
level, right?
Yeah.
It's got to be someone smarter than him. And no offense, there are 2 idiots on the council.
She summons.
It's not either of them.
You see a small like butterfly appear in the air next to her, and she whispers to it, and then sends it off. I'll keep an eye on Yusef. I'll see if I see anything.
Okay, we're gonna do the same when we come back within a week when he's hopefully a lot more distracted.
Yes. I'd love to know exactly what Feldspar is hiding. There are rumors that is where Victor Rylis's last lab was housed. If this Ahriman is him, or is at least parading to be like him, then the mines of Feldspar might offer a little bit more than just quicksilver.
The last time I saw Ahriman he was in a lab of his that he'd been using, and I tell her it was
in
like
the rift,
fucking,
yeah,
in the rift, and but it was underground for sure.
Interesting. There's a door somewhere apparently there's a legend that there's a door somewhere in the mines of Feldspar that nobody can open. That may be it.
Okay.
I will keep an eye on Yusef. I will gauge Volmir's trustworthiness. I feel somewhat bad questioning him, considering that he's been so loyal. And I will make sure that the princess is safe as well.
Thank you. Thank you. You've been very helpful.
I think that anybody who can carry a weapon from the subversion deserves my help.
I stole that from Tarlo's home.
Tarlo's collecting weapons of the subversion now.
He has, like, places for all of them, but he only had the one.
Well, it shows you how effective he is.
Well, but if he is a priori, then, woof that he's trying to collect all of them. Probably can't do it, but
I think the news of the papers might spread a little bit farther.
Oh, it's tragic.
If he
tragic
loses
how
that position.
Really tragic how that came about.
I won't ask any questions. But
couldn't have happened to a nicer person.
The woman who wielded that blade fought alongside me. She did not survive. But please, honor her legacy and keep Alyria safe.
I will.
Now let me get you to her friends. And she takes your hand and guides you to the wall, and a door appears. And she walks you through the door, and you find yourself in the room that you left was warm, wooden, whatever. This is a mostly granite and marble room, and you see at the center a circular symbol that is gilded in with gold onto the floor pattern. And she gets over there and she starts to trace in the air, and as she's going, the symbol is lighting up, and only certain of the lines within the symbol are lighting up, so the whole symbol itself isn't activating. But when she's done, there's a rune that's kind of superimposed in light over the gold, and she says, "Are you ready? Be safe, Mara." And she finishes the spell, and a portal opens in front of you, and you walk through. There's a moment where you feel like your navel is being pulled, and then you close your eyes and you open them, and you are standing in front of a hot spring. Bubbling, you can smell the mineral spirits rising off of it. You look around and there's walls around you, like, but they're beautiful. Like there's beautiful overhanging plants. There's plants in vases. There's beautiful trees. You're clearly in some kind of garden. You look around. There's another hot spring nearby. A person is lounging in it, nude, and they kind of look at you strangely. But you found yourself in a hot spring. Your horizon is now filled with the mountains, and you have found yourself to Feldspar.
Cool.
And that's where we will pick up when you get back.
I forgot to take off my fancy clothes. They're gonna see me with fancy clothes.
Yay!
Whoops! I got really distracted.
Yeah. All right. So we will. I'll let you know where you are. She put you in a very particular location, so I'll let you know like where you are and which person what your contact would be there. But yeah, got that.
Okay. I think I might be able to come in halfway through the next session.
We won't be in Feldspar the next session. They have taken
They're taking a detour.
They took yes. They were like in Eldritch. They made it to Eldritch Peak, and I was like, okay, now you can go down to Feldspar. And they were like, but wait, what's the problem happening at Eldritch Peak? And they were like, oh, this is the problem. They're like, well, we'll solve that problem for you.
Oh my god, of course.
So they are probably.
Well, they don't know that Feldspar has a big time limit. To be fair.
Yeah, they don't. So
they don't know that.
Yeah, but we could if you do that, we could have it so that you travel from there towards Eldritch Peak because you're looking.
I'll just stay in Feldspar.
And you can wait. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. Once they get their asses to Feldspar, which is hopefully the session after next.
Hopefully, we'll see.
Tell them that I can't come back until they get to Feldspar.
I was like, yeah, Grace is waiting to come back, guys, and so.
Yeah, guilt them into going to Feldspar.
Yeah, I will. All right, but this has been. I like this little arc. It was a lot of fun.
Very fun.
Yeah.
This was very fun. Let me count how many pages of notes I took for this mini session.
Well, and they're like you went into the places where like lore and background would be dropped. So
13 pages of notes.
13.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them were this session.
Well, you got a lot.
I got a lot
yeah.
out of this session.
Yeah,
I was
like,
talking to all the right people.
If you hadn't mentioned any of that to Lenaria, she wouldn't. But you're talking to the right person who knows.
I'm talking to the absolute right person.
When you close the book, you realize she wrote the book that you were reading because she was there. It's her observation of this.
Yeah.
And,
well, I was like, there's if I'm gonna trust literally anyone that I don't already have proof of, it's gonna be this person.
Yeah.
And the only person that I is not Alyria or Ogwan or Devin here that I can trust.
Yeah. And
the only person who's gonna have more information than what those people could give me.
It's interesting because you gave her information also that maybe shattered her understanding a little bit, because in the stuff you read about Ahriman, briefly scanning it, it's a glowing look at this hero that sacrificed themselves in the name of the subversion.
I mean, if he spent that long in the Vale, though, what would that do to you as a person?
I don't know. Because that's the whole thing of what happened to the god. They became disconnected with life, and they started to question whether life should exist.
That would make so much sense.
Yeah.
Man.
So we'll see. But the Victor
Why
Riley
did you make test me? Is this about the show?